in and then do you edit it all too, or is there?
I send it to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there some AI stuff that's coming out that's helping y'all?
Not really.
Yeah.
Because you can't really. I don't really trust AI to really like capture the things that we want to capture.
Sure.
So.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not yet. Anyway, exactly. I don't know how AI would capture. If we paused this thing.
Yeah.
And they would edit it or cut it or anything like that. The only thing I could see AI doing is helping with potentially like background noise or amplifying somebody's voice or something like that.
Well, I can tell you this: we're in the process of editing this Hunts the Healing thing, and taking like an hour-long interview, putting it into ChatGPT and saying, "Hey, pick out the inspiring moments, the moments that you think."
You put the actual movie in there.
You put
the video.
It transcribes it. It transcribes.
Or you're just pulling the words out.
You're just pulling the words.
Oh, okay.
So, I have not personally done that. My.
What are you saying? You're not a video editor and a ChatGPT?
Absolutely not.
Guru?
No, not yet. My creative director was doing that. We kind of threw it into there, and it did a pretty good job. But it's always, I saw Rick Rubin, who's one of my favorite producers. He's a big time. Read his book, The Creative Act.
He's the big music producer, right?
Yeah.
He's been on Rogan, the big white head,
absolutely
big bearded guy, right?
Yeah, Jay-Z to
Yeah.
to country music,
Whoever,
to metal
right.
music, anybody.
Yeah.
And he said, I go to a concert to experience the artist that I bought the ticket for, to experience their point of view.
Okay.
He said that AI does not have a point of view. And he goes, that's the difference. And yeah, they're making some songs, and I mean, we've played around with stuff with that, but I do not have, I'm not educated enough to really comment on everything. It's helping us cut some videos and stuff like that, and helping me. My strong point is not social media. It drives me absolutely bananas, and we have to kind of be everything to everybody right now. Sometimes it feels like that, but as soon as you just sink into that authenticity of like who you actually are, it starts to work. It seems like that for me.
Yeah.
And social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok blows me away. Like I just hired a 25-year-old girl, shout out to Maddie, and
She's just cutting some of your music videos into TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, we
formats.
purposefully, like, I have a creative director, Zach Knudsen, that gets the content, but like her as the cutter. I thought I turned this off. I'm sorry.
I specifically asked before we hit all the red buttons.
I mean, it says do not disturb. I'm so sorry. But I specifically, Zach will get the content and capture all the stuff, and then just send it off to her.
Yeah.
And she cuts it up into this like farm type thing.
A selfie for Drew Keith.
Yeah.
Shout out to Drew Keith.
Shout out to Drew Keith
for connecting us.
Honey Break was a big part of this. A big part of the, putting the story together.
How'd you meet Drew originally? How'd you meet
Chad Belding?
Connect to Chad Belding?
Chad Belding. A while ago, I grew up in Alabama hunting wood ducks and anything that would fly into the ditch.
You were hunting from a young kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just grew up.
Where'd you grow up in Alabama?
So a small town called Hoax Bluff, Alabama.
Okay, where's that?
Foothills of the Appalachian Mountains,
okay.
Northeast, 50 miles north of Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this really kind of old Appalachian like vibe there. The Coosa River goes up through the middle of the state of Alabama, and comes down from actually Bemidji, Minnesota is where the Coosa River starts.
Okay. And
just had an old V-bottom boat and chased ducks and turkey and anything that swam, flew, whitetail, if it was brown, it was down, that type of, mentality. I've always been infatuated with it, you know. And the music, I have this. People always ask me what my influences are, and of course, my sister's 2.5 years older than me, and I have your typical Merle and Willie and Garth Brooks and Tupac and, you know, Jay-Z answers, but the thing that really influenced my music, I think, the most was like going on a 3 or 4 or 5 day hunting trip with my grandfather and listening to his sermons. He was a preacher. Listening to the wind, listening to and I don't mean to get too hippy dippy on it, but like being out in nature, that is music. That is music to me, and that's where I talk to God, and that's where I felt close to the Creator and the creation, and that's where I heard music. Does that make sense? Like,
did you always want to be a musician?
No, I didn't figure that out until I wanted to build houses and, you know, and start my own construction company. I played music for fun to help people have a good time. And
did you do the typical go to the bar, you're the guy sitting in the corner on a stool, get a bar tab?
Oh, yeah. This might be interesting. We'll just do this.
There we go. And just move it back.
Perfect. I did, man. I mean, I went my path was playing around campfires here or in Oaks Bluff, Alabama, and getting the nerve to sing She Talks to Angels because the lead singer of the high school band, Geppetto, was sick or something. And then walked in on a guy in the ag. I was a big ag guy, you know, big fruit cell, FFA guy, you know.
Okay.
And Oaks Bluff is just such a cool town for that. I love this town. A lot of my friends are there. And the Oaks Bluff Eagles, man. And it's just one of those dream towns that you could write a Lifetime movie about. And so we grew up in that FFA type thing, and I saw Tyler Elliott playing an Edwin McCain song. I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be that song. And he went to the high note, and he was struggling with it, and he's like, man, I got to sing. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, I got to sing this for the beauty pageant tonight. Well, I'm just kidding around. Fruit sale, there's, you know, stuff, oranges and stuff everywhere. And I just kick into it and start singing it. And he's like, dude, you got to sing this with me.
To cover up the fact that he couldn't hit the note.
Well, I think he probably could have hit the note, but it was just better suited for my voice, you know. And so I was like, it scared me, you know. That scared me. It was like, whoa, the beauty pageant. Like, I mean, this is your typical high school auditorium, lunchroom turned into gym, turned into auditorium. And intermission of the beauty pageant, I go in and I got my creased Carhartts on, my tucked in polo shirt on, and I kicked into Edwin McCain. And I thought, it was just easy. Everything was everything that I'd done in life, I had to work so hard for, whether it be batting practice or, you know, running sprints, extra sprints for football just to be able to compete. This was easy to me. And everybody's jaw, you know, seemed to work out. You know, people were...
You got the reaction. You got a good reaction.
Got a good reaction and was like, ooh, I like that. I like that reaction. So it started there, and then I started really getting into the guitar G, C, and D and moving my capo around and learning some country music. And then I went to Auburn and started playing in a cul-de-sac, actually, with a buddy that didn't have any money. Convinced me to buy 2 guitars and a PA. We sit up in a cul-de-sac. I got the cops called on us. Cop was cute. She came up and was like, my buddy owns the Wings to Go. And
why don't you go play there versus playing and getting
in the
the cops being called on you?
Yep. So Saturday night, he had a band cancel. Nothing happens on coincidence, right? Like the band cancels. We go in and play every Saturday at Wings to Go for 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
And crowds grew, got a good reaction, got popular, had your typical SEC college experience. Not typical, it was very atypical, like, because it was just It was fun. Didn't have to pay for drinks much, and I just realized I was like, man,
Got a name, got recognition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got a degree. My mom's an educator, so she asked me to finish my degree. So got the building science degree, kind of engineering side of it. It was very hard for me. That was extremely hard, but got it, did it, got the. I said I'll just move to Nashville and get a real construction job. That's how I moved to Nashville.
So did you move to Nashville specifically because you were like, man, I think I want to continue doing music, or was it just like that's the place to go to do some construction?
There was no think. There was absolutely.
Yeah, but you could have chosen Mobile, Alabama.
No.
Because you're there, Auburn's right there, or you could have chosen Atlanta or Birmingham or Huntsville.
There's no music scene like Nashville.
Oh, so it was due to the music.
Absolutely.
There was still a thing about finishing the SEC, and you were like, okay, I'm not going to do this, what I studied for.
Right.
I'm going to try for music.
Well, that's part of the story. I'm going to do what I studied for and get the big boy job with the tie. And, my first job was 18,000 square foot addition on the Brentwood Baptist. I mean, it was a $13 million job with American Constructors. And I was out there with a tie, shaved face, hair product in my hair.
Like project manager,
running the deal, and highly stressful job. And I was going to Losers, and which is a bar in Midtown, and on Monday nights I would play with John Party from 10 to 2 and Bobby Johnson, and we would play that set. And I realized 2 years into this, like, I'd gained 20 pounds, and I was kind of half-assing two things. I was half-assing the concrete pours at 5:30 in the morning, and I was half-assing the music at 1:30 in the morning. Because those two are not conducive, right? Concrete pours, and I know how to do both. But which is the one that I didn't have to work at? I didn't have to work at singing or performing, So that's the way the Lord, kind of pushed me. I just kind of took a hint. Was like,
but it's got to be tough. Like, I've always thought about, and the analogy I use is, there's certain professions out there that in the beginning you can't live. You have to do something else. My wife is an author. Okay. If I didn't have a good job, she would never be able to pursue being an author.
Yeah. Because
she would have to have a job, because the writing pays $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
Same with music. Like, it's not going to pay the bills. If you're deciding I want to be a musician, you have to be pouring concrete at 4 or 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. There's the arts.
And if you're married, were you married at the time yet? But if you got married and you had kids and whatnot, that's even harder, right? How do you even break into that world that you're like, that's the world I really want to be in? But fiscally, impossible.
It does make sense. You have to have a little help. I think you have to have it's the picture of the feather coming down in Forrest Gump. It's like there has to be some kind of little magical thing that happens that pushes you in that direction. And sometimes that thing is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's a death in the family. Sometimes it's some homeless guy that gets in your truck and says, and inspires you to go the music route, but for me...
Did you have a homeless guy get in your truck and...
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. The music always called to me. It always would come back. I'd push it down because you're making great money. All the guys that graduated building science are making great money now. And, what do I want to do? Do I want to take this chance, and do I want to roll the dice on this music, which is an incredible risk. But it always seemed like that's the way that the Spirit was pushing me. That's the way the wind was blowing. That's the way I always was pushed into music. And so you're exactly right. You have to have somebody help you, or something has to help you. But that was mowing grass. I would mow grass. I would build a little bit. I would work that construction job. But 2008 happened. The economy went to shit, and they basically made a bunch of. They dropped a bunch of people, and I went to my boss and said, "Hey, drop me. I came here to play music." So basically got let go from that job, but I got a severance pay of, I think it was $2,800 or $3,200, something like that. And my gut has always been, my go-to is like mowing grass and saving money and doing the smart thing with money. I've always felt like I was good with money. That's just something I've always told myself.
Okay.
Something was pulling me. I'd seen Lord of the Rings. I know I'm jumping around, but like I'd seen Lord of the Rings when I was 13.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm a nomadic soul. I love a bus. I love a road. I love, what's around the corner. And I told myself at 13, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to where they filmed that Lord of the Rings. Well, that's New Zealand. That's the South Island in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, long story short, knew a guy that worked at an avocado farm, that knew a guy from a Bible study that actually knew a guy that worked with a Christian organization that was working in an avocado farm in Tauranga, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And literally took that severance package, and I was struggling as a songwriter. I was struggling to understand how to make it work, be a writer, pour concrete, make ends meet. I didn't have any money. I had some money that I kind of saved up or whatever. But everything in the safe part of me said, take that $3,200 and save it. Mm-hmm. Buy something that can make you money. Buy a dump truck, buy a skid steer, do something. And then there's that thing in me that said,
I'm going to buy a $2,000 ticket to New Zealand.
Yep. And so I did. I stayed for 3 months. I hitchhiked around both North and South Islands. I met people from all over the world. I played my guitar in different spots. I saw more stars than I could count. I caught beautiful trout. I ate...
So the Southern Lights?
Amazing Southern Lights. Mm-hmm. I saw the sunlight from 2010, the new year of 2010. I saw the sunlight. I was the first person in the world to see the new sunlight from the new year. Mm-hmm. That's what I say anyway, because that's the first people that see the new light of the new day. Mm-hmm. So 2010, New Year's Eve, I was on the southern tip of Stewart Island.
Yep, where the whitetail are.
Is on the southern tip. I was on the southern tip of the southern tip of Stewart Island. Mm-hmm. And I watched the sun come up. And that was like, for me, it was like, you made the right decision. You coming here. And let me tell you something. I had struggled for 4 years to get people's attention in Nashville. Everybody's a singer. Everybody's
sure, of course. Blah, blah, blah. I can't imagine the competition.
I disappear. I love that saying, dare to disappear. Mm-hmm. I disappear. I come back, and I realize nobody knew I was gone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, you're not that important. People don't care. Just in a good way. So going out there, I had these life experiences, and I was truly living. I was so fulfilled. I was truly in the moment of what I was doing. And I came back. I got a publishing deal. I got 3 record deal offers. In the year after.
What is a publishing deal? Like a writing deal? Songwriting deal. Okay.
So songwriting deal, they give you a salary to go in and write songs. So then I could write every day, and I got a bush hogging company and started bush hogging all these towers around because I had the landscaping experience and the construction experience.
Yeah.
So I pieced it together, man, and I wrote my first record basically on the back of a tractor with a publishing deal and worked to get a record deal, and Luke Lewis signed me to Universal Records. So...
And when was this?
2012.
Okay.
Yeah, so, we're talking, I moved to town in 2007. 3 or 4 years of that kind of living is hard.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really hard, but, I bought a house, somehow got I know how I got my mortgage because I had a real job.
Yeah. Finally, you could prove to the bank that
I had a real job.
Person with responsibilities.
Yep. So once I got fired from that real job, or whatever you want to call it, laid off, I got a roommate. Well, the roommate basically paid the note, and then I saw this little mom-in-law suite in the back of the garage. I painted it, put lipstick on the pig, as they say, and put carpet on the floor. Got another renter in the back, so I had 2 renters. That paid the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a place to stay. I had a guitar, and then I could go, I could go as I pleased. I started playing with this guy named Wayne Mills, who's no longer with us, but he was kind of the king of Alabama, and kind of did a lot of the bar circuit around there, and just cut my teeth on that. Cut my teeth on playing every place in Georgia and Alabama that I could, and then playing every writer's round in Nashville. My mortgage was being paid. I didn't have to pour concrete anymore at 5 in the morning. I could sleep till 10 or 11 and go bush hog some, and then I could go and get my salary from the publishing company, and then I could get my rent from my guys if I could get them to pay me. And that's it.
And at the same time, you're obviously building recognition, reputation with playing music and whatnot.
Sure.
And you're elevating, right? Things are slowly elevating. You're playing, would you say you're playing bigger shows, you're playing bigger venues, interacting with different people? What does that look like?
Definitely interacting with different people, but I wasn't playing bigger shows yet. I was opening up for Wayne Mills.
Okay.
And but I was playing every night here in Nashville, whether it be a writer's round. I would play anything.
What's a writer's round?
A writer's round, a guitar pull historically came from, the reason it's called a guitar pull is because, and I may botch this so somebody can, but the reason how I understand it is that country music is based on low income families, people that only had money to buy one instrument.
Okay.
So that they would pull the guitar around and play the songs, So one of the most magical things that happen in Nashville is getting a group of writers together and having a guitar pull. This is our new music. This is the music I was working on today. And it's kind of an old historical thing, but
so you have a musician who's going to play the music that somebody wrote that day or that week.
That they wrote or somebody
wrote. Is it open to the public?
Well, they don't have to write it that day. They could have wrote it.
But that writer's round where is that open to the public? Is it in a bar or restaurant or something like that?
Most of the time it is. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a very special thing here in Nashville that I would highly recommend. Everybody can come down here and go to Broadway and watch all the bachelorettes get drunk. That's cool. Do it. Do it if you want to. More power to you. But you go to a place like the Bluebird, or you go to just a dive, like Losers or or I'm trying to think of the Listening Room, or any of these great places to listen to writers that are writing songs at a high level come together and play a batch of songs. It's pretty.
So the writer, again, I'm super curious. The writers themselves are playing?
Yeah.
So they are musicians themselves, more often than not?
Right.
Okay.
I would say so, yes.
Okay. So they'll get up on stage, they'll write something, hey, I wrote this yesterday,
yep.
Let me see what you think about it.
Yeah,
and they'll strum a guitar
I wrote this a year ago, I wrote this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they'll go, and you'll hear these songs that are like, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Like your songs that are on the radio, you'll hear and you'll be like, man, I didn't know he wrote that. That's the coolest thing about Nashville. To me, this place is like the Athens of the South. Like there's so much palpability in a bunch of writers and a bunch of creators coming together. Songs built this town, and it's having this boom thing happening right now where everybody's coming. But we can never lose the fact that it is a song that is that this town is successful. It starts with a song. It all starts with a song, and I think this town does a good job at paying homage to that. Like it's not about the high-rise development, although there's way too many. There's a lot of cranes going on. There's a lot of development going on in Nashville, but it's still ground level. the song is the most important thing. The songwriter is the most important thing, and I love this town for that. It truly is a melting pot, and when you put that much frequency and that much energy in creation, you can't help but feel that. And that's why I said that. I love Texas. I thought about moving to Austin because it was weird and cool, and I liked that style of music. And I wasn't just playing country. I was playing Sublime and playing reggae and funk and soul, and I still play a lot of that stuff. But, I looked at New York, I looked at LA, but this place is 3 hours north of my hometown, and Nashville, and maybe you can argue with me as much as you want, but I think I'll win the argument. Nashville is the songwriter's town. That's where the best songwriters in the world are. The most concentrated population of them, for sure. Nashville, Tennessee.
So you're on this journey of getting more and more recognition. What's the timeline? Is it a 2-year, 4-year, 5-year, 10-year timeline to you're like, okay, shit, man, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm proper now.
Have you heard of a 10-year town?
No, I have not.
So they say Nashville's a 10-year town. There's a lot of truth to that.
Okay.
So you move here in 2008, 10 years is 2018.
Okay.
2012, a guy walks into a bar, Jeremy Stover. Hears me playing a song that me and my buddy Leith Lofton, great hunter, started singing. 50 Years Too Late. Everybody, the song was called 50 Years Too Late.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I knew you didn't understand that.
Like, okay.
So he introduced me to everybody in town. This is right after New Zealand. And I think all that energy, all that positive energy of I'd went out and lived instead of being stuck to my phone or whatever it was. And social media wasn't what it is now in 2008. So the timeline is, this is 2012, 11, 12. He walks in right after I get back from New Zealand. Jeremy Stover walks in, introduces me to everybody. My booking agent walks in on October 28th, 2010, and says, "Do you want to go play with Willie Nelson?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, can I get a beer first?" Like, what? You're full of crap, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
He's still my booking agent to this day, and we went out and did the Throwdown tour with Brent Cobb and with Jamie Johnson, with Willie Nelson, with Brantley Gilbert, Lucas Nelson, Craig Campbell, Randy Hauser, Lee Bryce. I mean, it was a big deal.
Wow.
And I went out there.
Big names.
And that was 2011, and that kind of got me into a different level. Got me signed, got me in this boat of like just a different thing.
Yeah,
with
all these names, you're in the boat now.
Yep. So 2008, 2007, moved to Nashville. 2011, this starts happening, but I haven't made it.
Sure.
I haven't done anything yet.
Sure.
Soon after my first single drops in 2013, this band who. I love these guys, but Florida Georgia Line came out with a song called Cruise.
Okay.
Well, that's a sonic, complete, that's not what I was doing. I was not playing Cruise. My favorite stuff was Jamie Johnson's In Color, But Cruise dropped in, I think, around 2014. That's the first 2013. And that is the first single that I dropped to Universal. It was called Simple Life, that I still play today. And it was fiddles. 2 fiddles were playing, so it sounded nothing like what,
Cruise sounded
like. Well, Cruise sonically took over the airwaves for, that sound took over the airwaves for at least 5, 7, maybe 8 years.
Wow.
It was so... And there was some room for some other stuff, but it was so...
But this is the sound that country music wants.
It's the sound that the radio wanted, for sure. It's the sound that happened. And I'm not down in it. Like I said, these guys just took that, and that's not what I was doing. So basically that single got to 29 or 30 in failed and got out. So,
okay, so it got to the 29. So your single
got to 29, which is not, it's not where you want. It didn't necessarily work because it was fiddles and it was country music, and it was like an older school country music or whatever. So, yeah, a lot of questioning, a lot of like learning about like how do you, and I got dropped. I got dropped from Universal.
Gotcha.
You know, basically, got dropped, got picked back up. I said all that to say this. I can skip over all that stuff because, like, I've been dropped from 2 different record labels. I've been going out here doing this. I've got now. I'm an independent guy that works with some great. I've got a great team with some distribution and management, and everything's a major type thing. But you know, as far as your major labels go, this is kind of the Wild West in 2025. That there's a lot of stuff that you can get out there and work and have your freedom. And I think a lot of people say, you know, that they wave the independent flag, and I love the independent flag. I've got it. But I think a lot of people wave it passionately because they've never had an opportunity to get a record deal, or they never would have an opportunity to get a record deal. But it is those people that go about it like, you know, the independent nature is what the hunter is. It's what the musician is. It's that rebellious nature that says, I'm going to defy all the odds, leave this little town, go to New Zealand, it's the same kid that saw Lord of the Rings. It's like, yep, I'm going to go see what's around that corner.
Yeah.
And the unknown for me has always been that. And that's why I've always loved hunting. That's why I've always loved music. And that's why I have always said, I always considered myself a tough guy. At least I said I was. You know what I mean? And I think if you say you are, and you've been through some stuff, like I've always thought I was just a tough dude that was built for things. And like, you're gonna face some opposition, you know, in the music industry, just like any industry. And a deer or a duck that's trying to stay alive, you're gonna face opposition in the hunting industry. And you're going to face opposition with hunting and pursuing wild game because they want to stay alive. I just welcome it now. You know, it's not comfortable, and it's not the things that are comfortable that has helped me get to where I'm at. And but that's kind of the timeline. I've jumped around on you.
No. What I was trying to build to is, because I felt like, based on your story, you were building. You know, you had all these successes. Obviously, the Florida Georgia line dropped you back down, and then you're like, well, screw it, I'm going to climb back up. And you started climbing back up.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you had this amazing opportunity. You're like, yep, I'm going to be now opening for who you're going to open for.
Yeah. So we got Zach Brown was a big one. Eric Church was a big one.
Yep.
Dirk Bentley was a big one. But we're talking 2000. Now this is 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. All those guys that I just said. And so it's building in my kind of reluctancy to go into the sonics that everybody was hearing on the radio. It was kind of working in my favor now. You know what I mean? And I was getting on some tours and getting on some things. In 2016, I go out and played 60 plus shows, probably with Zach Brown, and just went and played, you know, places like Fenway Park and stuff like that in front of 30,000 people a night. Like, and we released Spark, my record, and that's kind of where I had a career. Mm-hmm. I felt like I had a career then that was going to last. And
we're talking 14, 15 years now to get to this point.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. From 2007 to 2016.
Okay. Just under 10 years.
Yeah. So it's a 10-year town, right?
Yeah.
I didn't ever in my head, I was just like, So we do all the stuff with Zach. It's great. It's rocking. 2016 happens. 17 happens. I get dropped from Big Machine. My label that I was actually Dot Records folded, and which was under the umbrella of Big Machine. And I was very surprised at that. It stung a little bit because in my head I was just like right here.
Yeah.
But I hadn't had that number one yet. I hadn't had that thing that like put me over the P&L mark for my, you know what I mean, for the label to go, yeah, he's making money.
100%.
He's doing it. So I'm like, I'm pretty shattered, in 2014. I changed my manager of 7-8 years and ended up firing him and then finding another manager. So it just had all this unknown, and then got dropped by my label. And so now I'm independent, and it's 2000, now we're talking about 2017, 18. And Zach, being Zach Brown, was like, well, come on.
Screw it.
Let's come out with me.
Just
and
don't
we'll do
come.
it. So we got 12, 13, 14 shows lined up with him. We're about to go to Australia. We got all this stuff going on. 2018 turns to 19. And I'm running a lot. I'm getting in really good shape. I just felt, at that, I'm like in my mid 30s. I'm 35, so I'm like, dude, I'm going to get in great shape. I'm going to go out here and hammer this and prove everybody wrong. I'm out there with a chip on my shoulder. I've just been dropped. I've got new management. I've got new wind. We're going. I've got this Zach Brown.
New wind in your sails.
I got this Zach Brown show. I get an excruciating headache after I worked out that morning, and then I went to a lunch meeting with my managers, and got a really, really debilitating headache. And
Like a migraine. Almost.
I'd never had a migraine, but I couldn't see.
Okay.
I was seeing spots, and it was my, that real shrill wee. It was just like a ringing. And I couldn't see, I couldn't think, and I had to go home. I barely got, could drive home. Finally got home. My wife's not here. Turned all the lights off, shut all the shutters, and we're talking 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you're here locally, home. You're not
I'm
on
right,
the road.
Yeah, I'm right downstairs.
Okay.
And we're in my house, by the way. And I go to sleep, and Alex, my wife, was like, you got to go get an MRI. I go get an MRI. The MRI showed a wad of veins and arteries in the back right side of my brain. It was the size of a lime. Scared the crap out of me. And it was what this it was called an AVM, an arterial venous malformation.
Okay.
Maybe 1 in 100,000 people.
Okay.
Great. What does this mean? I go, a neurologist comes in at this, when he gave us the nail. So we were like, oh no, this headache's still going on. And he goes, yeah, we're going to have to go up through your femoral artery, go up into the back of your brain. We're going to have to squeeze it full of this stuff called onyx. And that onyx is going to embolize it. It's called embolization. And it's going to glue it shut. And then the blood in your brain is going to go to the parts that it needs. It knows how to do that. So it'll go around the lesion and go to the spots that it needs to. But the lesion will be actually sealed
up.
Cool. When can we do this? It's going to take 8 of them. Oh no.
Jeez.
I got a full tour. I'm rocking. This is beginning of 2019, January. We're in this hospital. So January, February, slow months for touring. March comes in, April, and you start going and tweaking into it. We're going to go hit Zach Brown in August.
Okay.
We're going to go to Australia in September.
Okay.
Like that. 2019 is looking good, right? So I go out, get my first embolization. He said, oh, the neurologist goes, you can come in on Mondays. We can get these done. It's going to take 8 of them to do the lime size to embolize the whole thing. And you can come in on Monday, we can do it, and then you can rest Tuesday and Wednesday, and then be on the bus Thursday and blast off. And take it easy. Listen to your body. Here's some blood pressure medicine. Keep your blood pressure low, and just, there's a 2% chance that this thing ruptures.
Okay.
Very low. I'll take that chance.
Okay.
Cool. Let's go. Load the bus, kick the tires, light the fires. Let's get out there. We got out there and played, and I remember my wife came out, and like everybody came out and was like, so careful. First show turns to 10 shows, turns to 20 shows. 1 embolization turns to 2 embolizations, 3 embolizations, 4 embolizations.
Everything's rocking and rolling.
Everything's rocking, and dude, I'm getting in that shape.
Yeah.
I feel good. I'm normal. I'm like, all right, dodge that bullet. Let's go. I go to Roanoke, Virginia, August the 16th, 2019. It's 98 degrees, and I take the stage, cotton candy skies, 2,500 people, Ferris wheels and funnel cakes type of situation. We get out there, and I tear into 2 or 3 songs, and when I'm singing, man, I'm like, veins are popping, like I'm in it, and I'm fully in it.
But you've been in it for these 20 shows up until then. It's not like you've been easing yourself in. You've been full ball.
Oh, at least 30 or 40 shows.
Okay.
And I had been easing in it the first 10 shows, but once I realized I could do that, I was back to full on.
Mm-hmm.
So we take that show in Roanoke, Virginia, take the stage, and I felt a little dizzy, but I thought it was just like the heat. And 3 songs in, literally felt my hand start to tingle, felt my left foot, felt like a bowling ball was on my left foot. And I just kind of was like, kept pushing. And then I forgot the words. I was like, what am I doing? What are these words? I knew what I was doing. What are the words of this song? And watching the footage of it back, I mean, you can see me confused, like I'm just trying. So I just start talking, and I hear this loud, like a gunshot go off in my, like, pow.
Really?
Yep. It was like a snap, but it sounded like a 22. Like,
okay.
And when it did, the weight on my left side, it felt like my whole face, my whole arm, my whole leg just shoved down into the soil, into the ground, and I couldn't. And by this time, people noticed that stuff was wrong. EMTs were there. Well, I mean, 2 weeks prior, we'd been to Bahrain playing for the troops,
Dang.
So EMTs were there. They grabbed me. My type A personality wife had a folder.
Didn't you say, I remember the first time we talked, didn't you say everything flipped? Colors flipped?
Yes.
All stuff like the sky went purple or what happened?
The sky was the grass, and the grass was the sky.
Yeah.
It was an upside down thing that happened, literally, like that's what happened, and everybody started talking slow, like that scene in Old School where you get shot in the neck with a dart. Everything was just going real slow, and they rushed me off the stage, and I'm just breathing, and this, my head's on fire, like pounding. I'm breathing. I can hear my heart beating, and I'm like, I'm having a stroke. I'm gonna die. They rushed me to a hospital. I was 3 minutes from a trauma 1 hospital. My type A personality wife had equipped me with all the verbiage and literature that was what was wrong with me. Give this to the doctors. My tour manager did that. They pumped me full of this coagulant that stopped the brain bleed within 18 minutes of it starting.
Holy smokes.
So it saved my right side, saved my ability to sing, my ability to talk, cognitive function and all that. But they wouldn't give me any pain medication. I remember the pain being so excruciating. I was begging for relief. And they didn't want to give me any pain medication because they wanted to make sure I was still cognitive, that I wasn't, that the brain bleed hadn't spread to where I couldn't
function,
brain dead
yeah,
type stuff.
Yeah.
So
they didn't want you comatose from the pain stuff.
Yep.
They wanted to make sure that everything was functioning.
So there's a lot of moving parts going around, and this is where I've explained this 100 times, but this is where the veil is so thin. And whether you're religious, whether you're Christian, whatever you are, it is so thin. And I was in one instant, I was kind of in this dream sequence, and that's where I saw these 4 figures in the corner of the room, and those 4 figures were very confident, and they looked at me, and I knew everything was going to be all right if I could just keep breathing. Just keep breathing in, keep breathing out.
What those 4 figures look like?
They were very confident. They were very...
What do you mean confident?
They were very Brad Pitt and Troy. Like confident. I could tell.
Like
I thought,
a feeling? Like that's what
No.
you got, a feeling?
No, a visual.
A look, they were very confident.
They were very... I got a feeling and a visual of like... So yes, a feeling as well.
Okay.
Of like, dang, there's security guards here. Everything's going to be fine. And
but there were no security guards.
there were no security guards.
Okay.
So this is a bang bang thing. This is 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the stroke had happened on stage. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. They get it to stop bleeding. I'm saved. My life is basically saved. But my whole left side, I cannot feel anything, and I did not know I couldn't move I didn't know that cognitively that I couldn't move my leg. I was so tired that I probably slept. It took my wife 7 hours to get from Nashville to Roanoke. So when I woke up, my wife's hand was in my hand. And I felt so peaceful that she made it, because I was just like, God, I hold on for her, because I thought I was dying. I had saw what later I would figure out they were angels, had kind of had this experience of the veil being lifted, and I didn't know how much time went by, but Alex just said I woke up a little bit and her hand was in my hand, and then I went right back to sleep, and I realized I couldn't grip her hand, and that was where rock bottom. I figured out rock bottom had a basement. Like I literally, all the feelings started flooding. Like, oh no, I'm not going to Australia. I'm not going to tour with Zach Brown. I can't probably ever tour again. I had heard rumblings of walking, of putting a port in. He'll never walk again, or I don't know if I made that up or what, but we got to put a port in, or we're not going to put a port in, or sepsis may set in, or we really hit or miss stuff. I could hear all of that being conversated about. And in that moment, in that period, I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or not, but this bright light. I grew up in a church with red carpet. It was blue carpet, but my grandfather preached in a church with red carpet. And I'm in this church in this dream. And I'm sitting down in the pew, and this bright light says, stand up. And I went through the part of not being able to grip my wife's hand. And in my head, I was like, I can't stand up. And I knew I was talking to God. I knew I didn't know, I didn't see his face. But in a snap of a finger, I realized that I just denied God of standing up. So I was like, I can't. And Alex tells the story. She's sitting bedside. I haven't moved. I think she said a week it had been since I'd moved. And I raise up and kick up, and am trying to get off the bed. And I'm like, I'll come. I'll stand up. I'll dance. Because I thought that I'd miss my opportunity to go to heaven. I thought that I'd miss my opportunity by saying no and denying the Creator. And that, in no doubt in my mind, there's no, you can twist that anyway, people can say, well, it was a dream or not. No, it was so real. And it was not a dream. It was like I was in it. And so the angels in the corners of the room were real. The talking to God experience was real. And I basically jumped up and he was like, are you, in some way he was like, I don't believe he's done. Something to that nature. Like, and I was like, no, he said, are you ready? I said, ready for what? I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready. I've got plenty of things to do.
Yeah.
And that's super cloudy, but in that experience, that was the angels in the corner of the room, and the experience I had was, of talking to God in that instance. And we went after that to everything kind of worked out. 2 weeks I stayed in Roanoke, Virginia. Got a transport back from a really good buddy that came and picked me up in a tour bus because I couldn't go in a
of course
airplane.
Yeah.
My buddy from high school came and was the EMT that checked on me the whole way back to Nashville. Got home, got everything situated here at home, and that's when we went on the front porch to look at the supermoon. I wanted to go outside. The supermoon was out there in the eastern sky in the front of our house, and this cloud passes over. I'm in like a wheelchair situation. I'm in a bad situation, and we're just trying to figure out how we're going to do this at home. And my hand is not moving. My leg is not moving. I mean, my hand's moving like barely.
Yeah.
And a cloud goes over that looks like the Archangel Michael, like the painting, the Archangel Michael. And at the same time, me and my wife said, that looks like an angel. And my wife tells me the story a month and a half after the angels in the corner of the room. She said, on my way to Roanoke, I prayed that God would send 4 angels and put them in the corner of the room.
Jeez.
And they were right there.
Jeez.
And she said, I also prayed that they would give you peace. My headache had stopped. I had no pain.
And the peace was the confidence.
The peace was the confidence. So people ask me the same thing. Well, what do they look like? How did you know? I don't know how to answer that other than like immediately when she prayed, I believe that she was on her way, and she drives like a grandma, and I bet she was driving 90. And I think immediately those angels popped up and were like, and they guided she said, I asked them to guide the doctor's hands. I asked them to not put a port in, to not do anything that would enable you for the rest of your life, for it to be your will, but for them to be, and I get people's hang up on religion and all this stuff. I understand. But this happened. This was real. And so I'm back home now. I'm back home and I'm setting in my...
This is what life is going to be like.
This is,
Yeah.
Alex is helping me use the restroom. She's helping me bathe.
Mm-hmm.
They've redone my bathroom so I can access it.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to set in.
That life is not going to be good.
I'm not a happy guy.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law is a good buddy of mine, great hunter. And this starts the hunting journey of, why me and you are sitting here as Blood Origins and why we got introduced. I'd been a hunter. I believe if you're a hunter, you're born with it. There's this innate primal thing inside of you that is just there.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn to do it. You can learn to be it. But people that are ate up with it, they have it. They're born with it. Whether it be fishing or hunting or whatever, when I was a kid, I would get lost in it so much, and minutes would turn to hours, would turn to days on the concentration of a bluegill. It was just crazy for me, and I just had so much peace doing it. So I'm back at my house, and Alex's brother, my wife's brother, comes over to make sure that I'm okay. And I'm in a wheelchair. I weigh 150 pounds. And I'm just a whole of a man. He goes, let's put a game camera up right here. 100 yards down that hill. And I said, man, there's no need to put a game camera up. I can't chase that deer actively. Like, I can't ethically go hunt that deer. I can't pull a bow back. He goes, you got to throw the bow thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a crossbow, if it's a stick, if it's a 30-06.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get back out there, you need to try to get back out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him, and he's not a super deep guy. And I thought, man, if he's saying that, like, there's got to be something to that. He puts the game camera up. Well, all I'm doing is sitting here because fast forward from 2019, August. What happened? August, September, October.
Then we go straight into COVID. Yep.
Oh, the worst. But it turned out being the best because it put everybody to standstill.
Mm-hmm.
So my competitive nature is not getting tested because everybody is, Nashville is at a standstill. And so here's the game camera down in the bottom, and I'm checking it 500 times a day because I don't have anything else to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wanting to shower the whole side because I'm having a good time seeing does, seeing a couple of young bucks. 2 weeks, Robbie, that camera was up. I'll show you the picture later, but I'm very aware of what a 175-inch deer looks like. And I thought somebody was playing a trick on me. I look at the photo 100 times and I'm like, there's no way. It's a 175-inch deer right there. It flipped a primal switch in my body. I had to hunt that deer. I go to my wife. I said, I got to learn how to climb a ladder. I roll over to her. I got to learn how to climb a ladder. What? You got to learn how to walk, bro. Like, you got to wipe your own butt. Like, I'm doing that right now. You realize that? I said, I got to.
Yeah, you got a couple of other things before you get to climbing a ladder, my friend.
Show her the picture. She goes, holy. She goes, well, you're not going to Iowa. I said, look at the picture. It's in the backyard. She goes, oh my gosh. Because Alex knows. She grew up hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Or with hunting brothers and stuff. I go to my this gets good. I go to my physical therapist. Mississippi guy, 32 years old. Great guy. Helped me learn how to walk again, everything. Show him I said, I got to learn how to climb a ladder. Looks at me like I got 3 heads. Dude, you can't walk. We got it one step at a time, literally. We haven't been with the one step. I showed him the picture. He goes, oh my God, Kansas? I said, no, dude.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Behind my house. So what if God put that deer back there?
Mm-hmm.
I never killed it. I saw it twice. And I saw it once on the camera and twice in real life. Right here. What if he put that deer back there and wasn't even real? Because I would have heard if somebody killed it. Because there's not 175 deer. There's not a bunch of those deer in this country.
Oh, in the state of Tennessee, for sure.
There's not hardly. There may, I'm just throwing this number out there, there may be 30 mm-hmm. in the state of Tennessee. Maybe
mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more. That's another podcast, though. But my physical therapist was like, well, get on that VersaClimber. And it's a, you know what a VersaClimber is.
Yeah.
I get on there and I look like a wet dog trying to figure out how to, whatever. And I start the process. And Robbie, 2 months after I saw that picture, Alex on a walker walks me down to the bottom of the hill before daylight and hooks me up with 7 tethers and 7 ropes, and I climbed 12 foot up a ladder.
Holy shit. And let's put this into context. Up until that point of you seeing that deer, you were not progressing.
I was mad. I was mad at the world, but this gave me a purpose. This gave me something to pursue. They told me I couldn't play anymore. Pandemic had set in. They told me I couldn't walk anymore. They told me I couldn't see my grandmother. Lost 2 grandfathers and a grandmother through the pandemic. My dog that I called Songwriter, named Songwriter, called him Ryder, he was 16 years old. He was about to die. dude, my life was like, what in the actual hell is going on? And I was just I had found a purpose in the pursuit of this deer. And it did not matter if I was to walk down there. It'd take me 45 minutes to walk 100 yards and get up in the stand. And I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I had to, there's a rower right here, folks. You're seeing I would get up here and just these weights, and I walk in my neurologist after hunting that deer for 2 months. I walk in my neurologist for our typical check-in. And his name is Dr. Miracle. His God-given name is Dr. Miracle. No shit. And he said, Drake, you look great. What in the world? I mean, like he saw.
What are you doing?
Like, what have you been doing? Your eyes are white. Your legs are like you're walking in here with no walker. Dude, I saw you 2 months ago. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I felt good about it. I was like, I don't know, I'm just a stud, whatever. I'm a dadgum, I'm an athlete, blah, blah, blah. I was happy again. And Alex goes, I'll tell you what he's been doing. He's been hunting every day a ghost deer. And I'm like, it's not a ghost. I saw it. She's like, you think, and she was like, no, he's been hunting. He said, whatever you've been doing, your neuroplasticity charts, your demeanor, your gait, your walk, everything is working. Keep doing it. And I had this idea sitting in bed I wrote this song. All I wanted to do was write. Well, they tell me I couldn't write. So I prayed to the good Lord above, give me the opportunity to write songs from this couch right here, sitting right here. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of Zoom?
Sure.
I'd never heard of Zoom. Well, everybody was super reluctant to write on Zoom. And my publisher goes, man, people are trying this Zoom. Would you be willing to write on Zoom? I said, man, I'll write in effing smoke signals. I don't care. And the very first song that popped up, very first people that popped up, I had no idea who they were. But
on Zoom. He said that his mom and dad faced a car wreck. And that car wreck put them in intensive care. What most folks didn't know is that they were in a physical altercation that put them in that car wreck. They hated each other. He said they were side by side for 7 months in intensive care, and it welded their marriage back together. They since then have been married for 35 years, and they have 5 kids, and I'm the 5th. So I've been watching what you've been going through. This is on Zoom. Wasn't even possible to have this. With that, I prayed a week prior to please give me this opportunity. I've been watching what you've been going through, he said. And all I got to say is maybe the pain is worth it. Maybe the struggle is worth it. Maybe the hurt is the healing. And we wrote a song called The Hurt's the Healing. That was like, this gave me the confidence at the end of my rope. I'm still a songwriter. I can do this. I can survive. I can be a light. And then I started slowly to see what the purpose was. And then the deer pops up. And I said, what if it was the hunt's the healing? And so I said, I'm going to make a documentary. We documented every bit of this. That's why I'm sitting here. September the 1st, we're coming out with that documentary called Ladder to the Sky, a Hunt's the Healing documentary. And I think how competitive the outdoor industry is. Realtree has been amazing, Tyler and these guys, and it's going to start out on their YouTube channel. And so Mitch Petrie's coming in, the outdoor channel's coming in.
We're going to go We're going to go live. We're going to do a premiere event that I'd love for you to be at, September the 1st at Riley Green's Duck Blind. And then we're going to do...
Where's that?
Midtown.
Oh,
downtown
sorry.
Nashville. That's okay.
I have no idea.
No, I'm glad you don't.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I'd love to drive up for that.
And we're going to do a premiere. Well, let me get back. No, let me finish. We're going to go to Realtree's YouTube and use, Riley's a part of this.
Yeah, you're bringing as many people in the outdoor space as possible together to articulate again, that's why we're here. The story that we haven't finished yet, because you just paused
Yeah.
about the name Hunting is Healing.
Yeah.
Which is, I saw this deer, I was in the doldrums, and I'm paraphrasing here, and it caused me to say, shit, I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back right.
Yeah. It's the primal flip that happened. And I don't know if it would have happened without, because there's two ways you can get to me, and that's a song and a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple. There's kids and dogs too. But
Yeah.
he knew that. The world knew, the good Lord knew that I needed something to get me and push into that. And so it was the song. I was going down the path of the what's happening in September, because we have literally filmed this whole process
Mm-hmm.
of me learning to climb that ladder, and me taking one rung at a time, and the power that showed me of becoming a provider. And my goal is like, man, hunting is so much more. It's just the pursuit of the providership, of being like, it was in me, and it was in me the whole time. And when I clicked into it, in no doubt in my mind, it recreated. Recreation is recreation. It recreated neuroplasticity around that lesion because of the purpose of an animal. I mean, if it had been a spike down there, you think it would have done the same thing? No.
100% not.
There's the chances. You're a hunter, the chances of that deer being down there 100 yards from my house. What are those chances?
Very slim.
Yeah.
Very
The
slim.
1%. The percent it was of the AVM rupturing.
Sure, exactly.
And so it just gave me that idea to document this, because it does not matter. You know how competitive this world can be.
Sure.
There's guys, and I love the Cam Hanes of the world. I love the Goggins of the world. They've inspired me to do so many things. Andrew Huberman's, Joe Rogan's. That's why, I love it. There's guys carrying rocks up mountains. There's guys with an upright bow. There's guys with sticks. There's guys with 30-06s with silencers, ARs. There's a lot of different things. I love Michael Waddell says your trophy is your trophy.
Yeah, 100%.
Get out there, get after it. I just think this story really hit me like the one. You have to be a fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because it's my story. It's because hunting, the actual concept of not hunting is way newer than the actual concept
Of not hunting.
Hold on. The actual concept
of not hunting is way newer than
hunting.
Hunting
and
itself,
now people are like, oh, you're a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, with the venison healed me.
Mm-hmm.
But more than that, watching my family eat it, watching the fact that I went down there and did this. And like I said, I never killed that deer. But the story kind of continues. And like I said, we've documented it. And that's what we're looking forward to getting that out there.
Sure.
But I got invited to Honey Break in Louisiana.
This is where Drew Keith comes in.
And Drew Keith.
Had he been watching you? Had been following you?
Me and him had been introduced years before by Chad Belding, and that's part of the story. Honey Break was my guys. That was my place. I'd been invited there years before in my mind. Well, Tyler Jordan, I didn't even know deer hunting that you deer hunted there.
Yeah, sure. Big duck hunting place.
But Tyler and Riley Green asked me to go. Austin Riley was going to be there. We're all going to go down there and we're going to duck hunt. I'm not going. Nope, not going. I can get invited to Honey Break on my own. I don't need Riley Green. I don't need Tyler Jordan. Like, I can go down there.
Why did you say no? Did you feel like it was pity party?
Yeah. I had a brain injury. I wasn't. I'm not saying I was thinking clearly, completely. Like it was like it's that ego thing.
Is this obviously duck season comes right on the heels of deer season? Are we talking weeks after this whole deer incident that's happening down here, or is it the following season?
It's the following season. It's no. It's the same season.
Same season.
It's
so
the same
it's on
season.
the heels of it. A couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm saying that is because there's so much competitive nature. Because you are a masculine hunter, you are a provider, you are a driver, you are competitive. All that was in my mind with Riley. All that was in my mind with Tyler. All that was in because how many guys do you know that's like, no, I'm not going with that dude. He's a dick or whatever. Like, not that those guys. I didn't think that. I'm not saying I was in the right frame of mind, but my wife goes, no. You need to go, man. You need to go with these guys, and you know how much.
Don't worry about the mic. The mic's good.
You know how much you love hunting. You need
Turn
to go.
that mic back. You just turned it away. Sorry. There we go.
You need to go. So I drive 12, 13 hours, with Riley and Greg Camp, and we go all the way to Honey Break, and the reason I didn't want to go is because I couldn't get my waders on. So I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I go down to the boot room, and I start trying to get these waders on. 3:30, 4, 4:30, 4:45. Here comes everybody, and they see this struggling guy that can't get his way, can't get ready for the hunt. The whole reason I didn't want to go was because I didn't want to be a hindrance to the hunt. I didn't want to show my cards of weakness to people that didn't know me before. They didn't know me before. They didn't know the guy that went out there and killed a deer at 12 years old with a recurve and stuff like that. They didn't know that guy. All they see is a guy that can't get his waders on. 4:45 turns to 5 till. Here comes Riley down, freshly, showered and everything. Oh, hey man, you having problems? Yeah, man, I'm having a little trouble with this left foot, getting this left. Oh, well, let me help you. No, I'm good. Dude, let me help you. Walks over, probably pops a joke or does something like that. Grabs the leg, pops it on my leg. My foot goes, slams into the bottom of that thing. I was like, you got it. He's like, cool, let's go kill some ducks. We get in. We go smash ducks. And then that evening, I killed
Now Drew's with you. You've met Drew for the first time.
No, this is...
You've known Drew for a while.
I've known Drew for a while.
Okay.
And that evening, I didn't even know you deer hunted at Honey Break.
So there was no plan to deer hunt.
We killed a limit of ducks, and we're all having a good time with everybody. And then I go kill 145-inch, 8-pointer down there. And so I'm like, and it broke the egotistical masculinity thing that I had, the competition, and it welded this friendship with me and Tyler and and we wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Tyler and that this whole story, and that is what this is about. Hunting is healing. Camps are compassionate. People are people. We're all battling and struggling to go through stuff. Like our heritage and going and teaching my kids how to hunt and provide for themselves. Like I can only pray that it is here, and it is the job of this documentary, my documentary, this podcast, to uphold that right, because it literally, scientifically, spiritually, physically, and mentally healed me to go pursue the other animal, to go do the other things. But it made me a better person because it broke down the wall of this masculinity. Oh, I got to be wearing this camouflage and wearing this hat, shooting this way. I got to take this animal. None of that matters. I have to worry about the frost on the rung and putting that boot on that frosty rung and concentrating. Even now,
that the hand goes.
The hand goes where the hand goes.
Mm-hmm.
And Can I bring my son? Can I untangle his fishing line?
Mm-hmm.
Can I teach him how to hunt?
Mm-hmm.
All these battles. Like I tell people, I understood suicide for the first time through all this.
Mm-hmm.
Because what good, in my head, the devil will lie to you, and he'll say, what good are you if you can't untangle your son's fishing line? What good are you if you can't go out and show? Because this is my identity. It's who I was. I was, Daniel Boone in my head.
Yeah.
Now I have
How
to
good
take,
are you if you can't wipe your own ass?
right. I have to take a step back
Mm-hmm.
and go, oh, there's the guy that made the mountains, his plan's better. And that's what I'm stepping into now. Like, the music has changed. The purpose has changed. The ego has changed. I still got an ego. You got to have an ego to get on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in check. I've got better friendships. I'm for people. And I was for Riley. I was for people then. I just didn't want to go hunting with somebody that
You thought was taking pity on you.
that I didn't know.
Yeah.
That thought, oh, we'll take the cripple guy hunting. Screw that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill the deer. I want to kill the ducks because I am the great white hunter, the Drake white hunter's beliefs. I am that hunter in my mind. I still am. I just can't walk during these times. But as you see now, it's progressed. Everything builds on everything else, and that's what hunting did for me. And we documented every bit of it. And I've always been a fan of the Revenant, the bear attack.
Yeah.
So I wanted to shoot this thing in a way. I grew up watching TNN Outdoors. I grew up watching Michael Waddell, and I love all those monster bucks. But I wanted to shoot this in a way that where it wasn't. It's not. It's like 10% hunting. It's really. It's really the spiritual journey of what it is.
Sure,
I see all these things that Yeti comes out with and Sitka comes out with, and I see all these things. These great films, the game is definitely heightened.
Yeah.
And I just think bringing it to my team, which is a music team, kind of a cinematography type team,
Mm-hmm.
that we brought something special into this. And
Did you write a specific song for the documentary?
Well, "Ladder to the Sky" is a song that is in it, and it already hurts the healing and "Ladder to the Sky." That's the
all
songs.
tied to the.
They're all tied to it, and we wove the storyline in and out there because a rising tide floats all ships, and country music in general is in the woods. To me, it is in the wildlife. The rhythms are in the waters, and the wildlife is the wildlife makes these noises and these patterns and these things that are just very musical to me. And so this documentary ties in all of that, and it ties in the black abyss of like, I'm not climbing a ladder. I need to do it if my wife's, she encouraged me later. She's like, you're not climbing a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going through this again.
I'm not letting you fall out of the top of a tree.
Not doing that.
Yeah.
Yet you don't have a choice. I mean, that's hard to do as a Southern guy that's supposed to, all this, I don't believe in, I'm not even going to go the happy wife, happy life route. Like, I believe everybody's got to be happy. Everybody's pursuit in honesty of what you need to do to make this life as rich as it can be, then do it. Mm-hmm. And that's my message, that hunting was part of that for this whole thing. So I hope it just
No, it's a crazy story, man. When Drew first told me about it, and a good friend of ours, Anna van Nostrand, told me about it. Like, you need to connect with Drake. You need to talk to him. And then, when Drew finally was like, hey, you need to get him on the phone, we got on the phone. You gave me, a 5-minute clip speech of what it was. And, it's a funny thing. Your story obviously is, generally hunting healed me. Okay, generically. But that same story happens in many walks of life, in many different scenarios, in many different communities, with many different people. It just happens differently, but the common denominator is that somebody decided, I'm going to go hunting, and and the pure act of hunting did something within me.
Yeah.
Whether it changed the person spiritually, whether it physically healed them, whether it healed them mentally, whether it gave them peace, whatever. There's something about it in which you are, and it's not, again, there's a difference between hunting and hiking, right? Or just going walking in the woods. That wouldn't have healed you, because there's something about when you hunt that you are a part of nature. You're not a part of nature. You are in it. You are
nature.
You're not just observing. You are part of it, right? You know, it's funny. This is not a healing part, but in South Africa, our biggest national park in South Africa is a place called Kruger National Park. And I remember as a kid, and still today, if you go to Kruger National Park, you're going to see probably 20,000 impala.
Mm-hmm.
Very common antelope species.
Sure.
And as a kid, every time I would go to Kruger National Park, you'd just see impala and just blow past them. Constantly.
Yeah.
Impala, you know. But I drove through Kruger in November for the very first time as a hunter. I'd become a hunter here in America. And for the first time I went through Kruger. And the first time I saw an impala, it was a bachelor herd, and I slowed my vehicle down going, whoa, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a youngster. Oh, that's a mature one. Next time I got to a big herd, oh, where's the herd bull? Let me find the herd bull. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, he's impressive. Mm-hmm. It almost it completely gave me a different reverence and outlook and respect and engagement of nature.
Sure.
Just because I was thinking like a hunter.
When was this? Like, how old were you?
Oh, you know, as a kid and growing up in South Africa, you know, any holiday you're probably going to Kruger from 5 years old all the way through like 16.
Right.
You know, so
you became a hunter later in life.
Oh, here in Mississippi.
Okay.
When I was 26 years old.
Cool.
I was, did my hunter education, and a good friend of mine who's best mate now, 6'5", 260-pound redneck out of Mississippi. He's like, all right, you got everything you need? Yep, here's your gun, here's your stool, you're sitting under the cedar tree, and if something comes by, shoot it. That was my introduction to hunting.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I'm actually taking him to South Africa to hunt in literally 6 weeks.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to show him what life is supposed to be like, and this is what hunting actually is.
Oh, sweet.
But, I took a veteran turkey hunting in Colorado in April. I love turkey hunting. I love the chase. I love the calling. I love the whole interaction. And he killed a beautiful bird and was the absolute epitome of what a turkey hunt should be. 2.5 hours of cat and mouse, cat and mouse, cat and mouse. Come in, not commit, come in, not commit, come in. Change positions 3 times. Finally committed, killed him. And the guy sat on a rock and told me, he says, Robbie, veterans get a high, an addiction from killing people in war. That's why we go. That's why we do it. And when we come home, that's why veterans are looking for that. They're looking for that next high. That's why they turn to alcohol. That's why they turn to drugs. That's why they turn to adulterous relationships. They're looking for those highs. And he goes, Robbie, you gave me a high this morning that I didn't know was possible sober.
Yeah.
And there's an element of healing there for him. He's got a traumatic brain injury and with PTSD. And he's just like, whoa, I never understood it until what you just showed me this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful, man. And I've watched it. Thanks for telling me that story.
Yeah, and there's lots and lots and lots of those stories, right? Constantly. They're, tired of hunting 2-legged animals, so I'm going to hunt 4-legged animals, because there's still an element of that high that they're looking for, but it's different.
Yeah, and this whole thing with me, I've realized, if you can, doesn't matter what you're hunting, you can, deer, turkeys, fishing, being outside being outside in the dirt, being
Pull that mic a little bit closer.
being grounded,
That's good.
being grounded in the soul, and being out there. I mean, you could. This might work, it might not. But in my thought, like you could be hunting. You could be hunting morels. You could be hunting sheds. You could be hunting a better way to, play Simple Man. You could be hunting. It's not going to put you in nature, but you find a hunt. Find something to hunt down. Find an idea. Yes, I am going off the rails here, but like find a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this gave me.
Well, your purpose was the big buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like I said, I never killed that deer. I never.
Fictitious deer.
Yeah, might have been an angel deer, but it did. I think one of the best parts of that story is walking in Dr. Miracle's office and a scientific doctor neurologist goes,
Something's
"Bro,
changed.
not only visually but like scans.
All your numbers.
The numbers have changed.
Mm.
Like, and it ain't been that long.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?"
Mm.
And I'm not saying, people say, well, it could be placebo or it could. I don't care. I don't care what it is. If you say you're healing, you're healing.
Mm.
That's 90% of it. Convincing yourself that you're healing, convincing yourself that there are deer out there when you're hunting.
Mm.
There is a fate to a hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Convincing yourself that there's a God that has your best interest at heart, and that your plan is not always going to work out like you think. It might be His plan, but it's the best plan. Convincing yourself that, my grandfather used to say, never bait a hook without the intention, without believing
that you're going to catch a fish.
That fish is going to bite that hook.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you go fishing? And people, I see them all the time. A parable here. I see them fishing, whether it be music or fishing for a mate or fishing for a wife or whatever. And they don't think a fish is going to bite the hook. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, always approach the woods with optimistic eyes. There is deer in these woods. There's game. There's food. There's memories. There is lessons. There is spiritual leadership. There is power
Mm-hmm.
in the purpose of the pursuit of these woods.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it, like every time I go into the woods, it doesn't matter. Alex has got some bees now. I'm totally into that. That's so cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be fishing or anything, I'm teaching my little boy who, and we went through 7 years of infertility too. So
Sure.
believing that little boy was going to pay, and then seeing his blue eyes and seeing him see a lightning bug for the first time, and I saw it like reflect in his eye. It was so cool. He's like, "What is that?" Like, "That's a lightning bug," and he repeats, "Lightning bug."
Mm-hmm.
That's real, and I believe. If you believe, sometimes you need a little help. You need a fictitious deer, or you need some guy to call you, your friend to call you and go, "Hey, quit being a pansy and get out of the bed," or you might need somebody go, "Quit being a hard ass and get in the bed."
Or somebody to help you put your waders on and go, "Let's go kill some ducks."
Might need your biggest competitor, your in your head, to just break the mold and go. You might need your wife to go, "No, you're going."
Mm-hmm.
How weird is that? The wife is going, "You're going, honey.
Mm-hmm. You're
not staying here."
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to stay here where I was safe and hunt my deer that probably wasn't down there. And it's a beautiful life. I'm incredibly humbled by, getting to live it and getting to go through all this stuff. It is really hard, and I have bad days. But people are good for the most part. Nature is so unforgiving and so beautiful, and there is angels in the corner of the room if you ask them to be there. There's deer in the woods. You just got to go look. There's fish in the water. You just got to go look. And there's also wolves out there too that will eat you. it's part of being alive, and I'm glad to be alive. And I don't know if anything that is more important to me right now than people understanding that this story is, I'm a normal dude, and this story is real, and this story happened to me, and you should never feel alone, because I do it with my crowds all the time. Like, raise your hand if you got cancer. Raise your hand if you got Parkinson's. Raise your hand if you've been cheated on by your ex-husband's boyfriend's sister's dog. Whatever it is. Everybody's got problems, man. And the truth is that I would probably trade, if I knew your problems, I'd probably trade your problems for my problems. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. Mm-hmm. It's okay. We all got problems. Just because you have problems don't mean you're a bad person and God's carrying you through this horrible time. It just means that you're being prepared to pursue something else.
Sure.
So,
well, dude, thank you for telling the story. As you said, podcast is the beautiful forum to be able to lay everything out in a long form manner. Appreciate you. I appreciate Drew connecting us. Yeah. And I look forward to maybe sharing a duck blind or a deer blind in the future.
Let's do it, man.
We'll do it, dude. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.